What's up, guys? With it being the year of 2025 now, I thought with me getting back into the horror movie genre and horror talk in 2024, I deep dived into a lot of horror movies. But with that being said, I thought, why not go through my top 10 horror movies of 2024 and give you guys recommendations and some good acknowledgments of movies? So let's get into that list right now. At number 10, we got Low Lives. This movie is a Tubi original that was released last year. I think this is one of the best Tubi original movies that has been released probably all time for this streaming site. It's a visceral, brutal horror movie. The acting is very gray in this. There's a lot of twists and turns in this movie that you guys would not expect. And with this horror movie, I hold it up to the high standards of like Netflix and Prime Video. And that's how good this horror streaming movie is. And you guys definitely go check this one out. At number 9, we got Cuckoo. This movie was one of my most anticipated horror movies of 2024. We got the still shot of Hunter Schafer hiding behind the bookshelf for like a solid year. And when I found out that this movie was going to release in theaters in August, I had to jump on that opportunity. I saw this movie, and my expectations were absolutely amazing for this. And that just got blown out of the water because this movie, it's creepy as a creepy atmosphere. Of course, it's set in the German Alps, and you can definitely tell that this was probably shot on location because the environment of Germany and where they had the motel was absolutely amazing. The mountains, the scent of this. But as a film as a whole, this is absolutely creepy. It's a weird concept, but they run with the concept and they do really well. Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens is the best two parts of this movie. And their acting and chemistry in this movie gives a haunting, creepy feel, and you will enjoy this movie right to the very end. At number 8, we got Long Legs. I knew when this trailer first was released in December of 2023 and early January of last year, I knew this movie was going to be something great. The trailer gave nothing away about this movie, and it's so creepy. We knew Michael Monroe and Nicolas Cage was going to be in this movie, and this movie did not disappoint. This movie is creepy, adds some funny elements into it, but those elements, when they're funny, but they're still creepy. Nicolas Cage gives one of the most creepiest performances I think of last year. Michael Monroe is absolutely amazing in this as the detective, but this story, it's hits you to the point of that when you're at the end of this movie, you're just staring at the screen and you don't know what you just watched, but you know you actually love this movie. And number 7, we got an underrated gem in the independent horror film community, and that is Bezel. Bezel is a movie that absolutely rips from beginning to end. If you guys like witch movies, you're going to love Bezel. This movie is about a house that has a witch living under it, and it's like set through like a whole bunch of years. It's kind of like an anthology, and then not an anthology because, of course, there are stories that are set over time that connect into one story, and it just starts off right at the beginning and hits you hard with the violence and goreness. The design of Bezel the Witch is absolutely amazing, and I love where these directors did this movie, and it was shot in their own house, I think. And when you do this and the light and cinematography they had, it's absolutely creepy, especially once you get down to where Bezel was living in the basement. I knew once you got down to the basement, shit was going to go down, and it absolutely did. I absolutely love this movie. And if you guys haven't seen Bezel yet, I would highly recommend that you guys go see this one. And number 6, we got a Shudder original, and this is the first of 2 Shudder originals I got on this list, and this is Azel. This stars Samara Weaving, and of course, if you don't know who Samara Weaving is, she stars in Scream 6 and Ready or Not. And holy crap, this movie is good. It's brutal. It's violent. It don't have a lot of dialogue. I think there's like 2 scenes with dialogue in it, and of course, it's like not English dialogue. It's kind of like Spanish dialogue, and it don't matter with this if it needs dialogue or not. You guys just need to sit down, watch this movie because the visuals in this movie and the atmosphere is what makes this movie good. And this movie is brutal. It goes hard, but the monsters in this are some of the best designs I think I've seen this year for like a demonic creature of a monster in a horror movie. And if you guys haven't seen Azel, definitely go check this movie out on Shudder. At number 5, we got one of my most controversial picks on this list, and that is the American remake of Speak No Evil from Blumhouse. This movie is so much better than the original. I hate the original Speak No Evil. The parents are awful. The ending is so bleak and depressing. I don't know if I'm ever going to watch that movie ever again. But this movie has some American things in it. They kind of Americanized the end of it, but James McAvoy is what carries this movie. James McAvoy is absolutely a great actor. We see his psychotic personality not only in Split, but we get to see in this movie also. And just as a whole, this movie was good, and the parents are a lot better in this one than they were in the original Speak No Evil. If you guys have seen the original Speak No Evil and you don't like that movie, I would highly recommend that you guys go see this American remake. And number 4, we got our second Shudder original release, and this is VHS Beyond. This is my first ever time watching a VHS movie, and I love what they did with this movie. It's aliens, it's anthology. I love horror anthologies, first of all, but once you add aliens to it, it's absolutely amazing. There's 5 segments in this VHS movie. The best one is by Christian and Justin Long. And yes, I am talking about the Justin Long that was in Tusk, that was in Jeepers Creepers, and all those horror movies. And his segment that he directed with his brother is the best segment in this. But Kate Siegel, Mike Flanagan's wife, directs a great segment with Mike Flanagan writing it also. And this one goes hard. It's brutal. It's a lot more brutal than I thought it was going to be. I love all these segments, but that Justin Long was such a great segment. At number 3, we got one that I picked up on later in the year, and this is The Substance. The Substance is a brutal movie. Hot take, I think this is the best body horror movie of all time over David Cronenberg's The Fly. Demi Moore gives a great performance because she just won the Golden Globe for this. So definitely give a great performance. But Margaret Qualley as her counterpart in this is absolutely amazing. And you can see it's the same character, but definitely acted by 2 different actresses. And it's just a great job. And Dennis Quaid in this movie, with the little screen time he gets, is absolutely great as that. It's like he is kind of like our antagonist in this movie, while Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley is our protagonist in this movie. And the sound effects in this and just the sound of this movie is what makes this movie gross. If you guys don't like body horror or gross movies, I will be cautious going into this one. But if you guys want to, definitely watch it, but just be cautious because it's just a great movie. And number 2, we got one of my most anticipated horror movies of 2024, and that was Terri Fire 3. This movie made some records this year. Not only being the highest grossing unrated movie to be released theatrical, it got a worldwide theatrical release coming off the success of Terri Fire 2. Lauren Rivera comes back as Sienna Shaw, and holy crap, she gives the best performance I think I've seen out of the both Terri Fire movies that she has been. But the actor who plays Jonathan Shaw in this, he gets a little bit of screen time, and he gives absolutely a great performance also in this movie. But the MVP of this movie is David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. He comes back in this movie, and he's more violent and mean than ever. I give props to Damien Leone and this whole Terri Fire group because I think they made one of the best independent horror movies of this year. You can definitely tell that they're going to ramp it up, and I can't wait to go and see what they do with Terri Fire 4. But coming at number 1, and my most favorite horror movie of 2024 is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Robert Eggers is a filmmaker that is up and coming. The only movie I've seen by him is The Witch, and I absolutely love The Witch. So going to Nosferatu, I knew a little bit of what Eggers was doing. First watch, I didn't like Nosferatu as much. Then it was like 5 days later, I'm like, let's give it another rewatch. I rewatched it again, and this movie is so captivating of what Eggers does. This is his passion project. You can definitely tell that he put time and effort into this movie. Lily Rose Depp gives an absolutely great performance. She has gone out of the light of being Johnny Depp's daughter and being her own thing, especially where this is her first main acting role that everybody knows about. But the rest of this cast is great with Nicholas Hoult, William Dafoe, Aaron Taylor Johnson. But the other MVP of this movie is Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok. I didn't even know that this was Bill Skarsgård in this movie. He doesn't look like Bill Skarsgård. He doesn't sound like Bill Skarsgård, and that's why I think Bill Skarsgård is probably the first or second best actor in this movie. He took the role of Orlok and turned it into his own thing, and it's absolutely amazing. I know Eggers had some help to do with it, but it's the team of Eggers and Bill that made Orlok the way he is so terrifying. He looks gross in this movie, and it just goes the way that Eggers wants to do with this movie. It's like 2 hours and 30 minutes, but you don't feel the runtime in mostly. But if you guys know Eggers, Eggers kind of goes slow on his films. So if you guys are wanting to see Nosferatu still, just go into it being that it's going to be a slow burn movie, because that's what it mostly does with Robert Eggers' movie. But by the time you guys get to the end of this movie, you guys will feel satisfied about the storytelling that Robert Eggers has done for the story of Nosferatu. But guys, that is it for my top 10 horror movies of 2024. So guys, let me know down in the comments if you guys like my list. And guys, also put down below your top 10 list of 2024. But guys, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you guys want to keep up with my horror content for the rest of 2025, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification. It will tell you guys whenever I post new videos and shorts. And guys, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.